city who have reached out to see how they can assist. Also, thank you to the mayors of surrounding cities who have contacted myself and my city council colleagues. We've also had multiple restaurants to see if they could bring food to those who have been evacuated. But we have we are working on a point of contact for our residents to provide one person that they can contact to give them the information that those who have been evacuated or those whose homes have been impacted, that they will know where to go to get the resources and assistance that they need after this time. So again, our residents are a priority. Please feel free to reach out to myself as the mayor or a city manager or our city staff for any information. And we urge all of our residents, if you have any questions, if you need any assistance, that is what we are here for. So reach out to the city, reach out to the Sheriff's Department, reach out to the OCFA. But we are here for you. We are here to assist you, and we will all work together to do what's in the best interest of Laguna Niguel residents. I'd also like to point out that our water district has sent out an alert asking residents to reduce their water usage at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Genoway. At this time, we'll field a few questions, and then we'll all be available for individual interviews. So, any questions?
I just wanted to ask, as far as adjacent HOAs, should they be turning on the irrigation to water the hillsides to make sure that there's...
No need to do that. Again, we expect the winds to slow as it becomes nightfall, to slow a bit. We've got lots of resources out there to deal with it, so no, that would not be something we would recommend. Thank you.
About the number of structures either destroyed or damaged?
We don't have an accurate count, but I will tell you that myself and my Deputy Chief of Operations, Kenny Dossie, left the neighborhood to be here for this event, and I would say it's fair to say that we're looking at probably a minimum of 20 structures, either lost or partially destroyed. We're somewhat reluctant to provide numbers because, again, they just are estimates at this point. We will have our damage assessment teams out tonight. We will have an accurate count certainly by tomorrow, tomorrow morning. But we definitely experienced structure loss of homes up on Coronado Point.
And these are all residential? All residential?
All the ones I saw were residential homes, large residential structures.
What is the biggest challenge going into tonight?
I think really it's going to be identifying those hot spots. I mean, you got to remember that this fire was wind driven, and so we have embers cast very deep down into those canyons, and many of them up into the palm trees. We saw several palm trees that had embers burning in them. We had embers enter attic spaces through vents, and so really the focus is to get into these homes, to really take a look at those attics, to get down in the vegetation, to really make sure that we're not leaving any hot embers in place so that when the wind does pick up again tomorrow, that we've missed anything and we have, a rekindle. So you'll see the firefighters out here in mass throughout the night, certainly out through it tomorrow, and they'll be making sure that this fire is completely extinguished before we walk away from it. That is my understanding. I don't have an exact location, but down by the water treatment near Elisa Woods. Right.
Can you hear me or not?
All of us were commenting about just how, when this fire first broke out, we saw white smoke, and, if there wasn't any indication that it was going to blow up. What was going through your mind as you saw, the embers jumping, and just what's going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, I think the early reports, I was at headquarters again with my deputy chief, and we were getting early reports that we had a small fire and that it didn't appear to be more than, at the time, I think 3 to 6 acres. And, what we experienced was a fire, wind-driven, down and relatively, level, flat terrain until it hit the side of that slope. And fire is always going to run uphill faster, wind or no wind, but when you have that strong a wind blowing that fire uphill, and if you're familiar with that area, it is extremely steep, extremely thick vegetation that has not burned in probably decades. Once it's got a hold and started up that hill, I think we all saw that. As soon as I got to my car at headquarters, you could see a tremendous smoke column and we knew that we had a significant fire.
You talked about how climate change has changed the behavior of fires. How has fires attacked the fires?
I think you're right. I mean, we're seeing spread in ways that we haven't before. Again, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, fire like that might have grown to an acre, couple acres. We'd gotten there very quickly. It was been skunking around. The fire is spreading very quickly.
I'm doing right now.
Very
After I
dry
ate some dinner,
vegetation taking off.
and I
the
saw
concern
this
for
come
me
on, so
as
I
a fire chief,
figured I'd
obviously,
just
is
go
the safety
live
of my
and
firefighters.
then restream it.
Spreads like we have, not just here.
All right, you've been listening in. The latest information coming to us from Orange County fire officials regarding the coastal fire. We can tell you that they say at least 20 homes have burned, at least 200 acres have burned. Approximately 100 homes are currently under mandatory evacuation. Those are homes on Via Las Rosas, Coronado Point Drive, and Vista Court. The evacuation center is the Crown Valley Community Center. And the best news here is that at this point, no known civilian or firefighter injuries.
They're saying the winds have died
And I
down, but
couldn't
they're
use
still on the scene to
StreamYard
fight
because
this
it was
fire. They
being
say
a
the big
pain,
difference
so I
is the
I
dry
used this,
conditions.
and it
Fire
seems
is
like
taking
it's
off
working.
and just running away. These are normal winds. This is not a day where you had abnormal winds. This is a normal day. He said fire season is year-round. So Fox 11 is going to turn you over to normal programming. We're going to keep a watch on the fire. FoxLA.com. Join us on the web.
If you want, I can. I'm gonna see if I can rewind this so you can see it from the start. All right, hang on a minute. Okay, here's from the start.
But as of that, I have not heard exactly if this homeowner evacuated.
Well, I don't know how to do that, so we're gonna need that for another time.
Safety first. All right, so Gerald, we see firefighters there on the scene. We can see the water there coming at that
This
structure.
is when I turned on
Talk about
and
the
saw
response you're
this.
seeing with the fire department as best you can there.
Yes, I can. I can tell you there are lots of. I'm moving out of the way here for a truck that's moving. There's a lot of trucks out here. A lot of people. A lot of fire just really stepping up. I could just see that they're really trying to protect. First of all, trying to get people out of their homes, and then secondly, they are really trying to take care of these homes. And you can tell that the best of their ability. They're hitting homes like this. They're moving from house to house, trying to water it down, trying to get the roofs wet. You can tell really that they're just trying the best they can to get all these homes. Look at this. They're really just trying to get as much as they can, these roofs dry. I mean wet, those that are dry, trying to make sure that the embers don't fly over from roof to roof and cause multiple home damages. So I could just say that the firefighter out here is really doing the best they can to protect property.
Now, Joab, do you happen to know your exact location, what street you're on? And also, are there other homes within your view that are also on fire?
From my view, I did not see any others. Down the hill from where I was, though, that's where I saw a little bit of flames coming uphill, and there are several properties up in this area, so this is the only one I've seen, but there is definitely a lot of potential for many of these homes maybe.
And I don't know how to make that picture. I don't know how to make it full screen.
Get water on them and prevent the spread of this fire to multiple properties.
As we watch those firefighters.
Where my location is, I am on, I believe, Levue. I'm up here and around Levue and Clubhouse.
Levue and Clubhouse. So then, are you near the top of the summit there?
I mean, let's say over here in the other area, I got some water on me from the. Let me wipe this down here. Got some water sprayed on me from.
Yeah, there's a lot of buttons and switches and.
Up a bit this way here.
It's that confusing, but I figured it out.
A little bit off that way. So I'm quite near. Maybe I will begin to move my way little by little towards that area. But just on the way, I'm just seeing things like this. and it's really sad to see.
Yeah, so we had heard that there were homes that had burned on Laview at 3300 block of Laview.
Wish I had
near
more
the
people
Aliso
in
Summit
here, but
Trail.
oh well.
The shots we had been showing you through much of our coverage were actually Aliso Summit Trail. So now we are seeing from the ground here, Laview.
They're all
Joab,
probably sleeping.
firefighters are trying to put the fire out on this one house. What about the structures next to it? Any fire
I
spread
think I'll
there?
need to stream up. I don't
can
know.
show you some of these other properties. They look okay. They look like there's definitely
I know
a lot
that.
of smoke and embers still kicking around, but as of now, and occasionally you'll see a bush on fire. Maybe you'll see one of these palms on fire here. As you can see, you'll get smoke coming from some of these palms here. But I've not, at least
Those other channels that are streaming the exact same
other
thing,
properties
so
on this street. I will make my way down this street, check the other properties. But as of now, they look to be okay.
The winds, though.
The winds are whipping, and the emergency crews, obviously, that we have,
Yes.
you saw that one truck there. Are they just sporadically placed, strategically placed in these neighborhoods?
yeah,
Is that what you've been seeing?
really nice
Make your way?
Restream now, because it seems to be working with my computer.
What I'll
So
see is kind of where the
where's
heavy
that the
smoke
thing?
is. I'll definitely see more activity as far as fire goes, and I'll see the fire
StreamYard, not so
dedicated
much.
to the heavy smoked areas, and the areas that are a little bit further from that, that's where I'll see deputies and law enforcement urging people just to flee this area as quickly as they can. So there's definitely fire and law enforcement just really trying to get people out of here. Fire hitting, trying to get the water on the homes, and law enforcement urging people just to get what they can as fast as they can and to leave these areas.
Joab, so many times we cover fires and residents don't want to leave. They stay there with their garden hose and try to fight the fire. Seen any residents in our shots here on the ground? Are you seeing firefighters talking to people here? Or are they in their cars on their way out? Have you seen anybody there walking around the neighborhood that looks like they live there?
When I first got here, that first shot I showed you down the hill, when I got here initially, unfortunately I wasn't have a picture at the time to show you, but there was law enforcement getting one resident telling him, hurry, hurry. You know, the whole time they were trying to pack up, and he'll say, it's not worth it, get out of here, you know.
And I have the chat up on my phone, so in case somebody comes in that we know that we're friends with, then I can make them a mod.
I do want to say that I haven't seen that many people, so they must be responding to the situation and leaving. So to answer that question,
Yes, please,
right, I haven't
and
seen that
please
many people
subscribe.
trying to stay in their properties up here.
All for you to chat is to subscribe. The
Stream,
reason I do that
when I
is
was on my
because
way
of
up
the
here, I did
trolls
notice several
and
people panic driving.
stupid people who
Perhaps,
want to
I
come in
assume,
and post
wanting
crap.
to check up on their properties. I did notice that.
I'm not gonna have that for
People in
my
this
stream.
neighborhood, perhaps they're checking on the properties elsewhere, but I did notice several vehicles. Just, you know, you can see panic on the faces that people are driving by, perhaps really worried if their property was in the line of fire.
Yeah, and we know that, Joab, this is a multi-agency response, and, you know, whether that's Laguna Beach Fire that is right there trying to save what they can of this property, or Orange County Fire Authority. These crews certainly have their work cut out for them, given the winds, given the hopscotch nature of these
The chat
flames.
from Restream looks good on my phone.
Now we're 5:45, so now this firefight has been underway for officially 3 hours. And as meteorologist Rick Dickert was pointing out, that it does not... Go ahead, Joab.
Oh, I'm just saying, it's one of the things I got to watch here, as you're saying, with the wind shifting. I was so preoccupied in showing the property here. The firefighters working on that I didn't see just behind me the embers that kicked up.
And I'm trying to I'm trying to get my watch hours.
Just
so
up the street here, we have another property behind me that has caught fire. So this is still very much a fluid situation. There's just a lot of wind, very unpredictable. and you know, I just got to be a little bit cautious. These winds are just very, very high, and there's just lots of embers.
Well, Job, as you know, it is safety first for you
I
and
wish
our
Banks
reporters
was
as
here,
well. You as
but
a photographer for Fox 11, as you know, safety first.
I know, cause
find
I
some
know I
comfort
wish
that
he
you
was
are
here,
there
but I
with
know he has
firefighters
to
right
work
there
tomorrow,
with you.
so
So hopefully you can
he
get
can
good guidance
he can
from them and their
rewatch it when
perspective.
he gets
We
off
should note
work
that
tomorrow.
Loveview is 2 streets over from the Aliso Canyon where the fire started. 2 streets over where you have these fires now burning. And Job, you say a second home is now burning?
Thank you. Yes, just completely. I'm probably going to go up there. I don't know if you can really capture this on camera because of the smoke, but this property behind me is just scorching right now. I'll probably make my way up when I can. But so I'm saying, one moment I'm looking one day down the street, and then the next moment I'll have something erupt right behind me. So just to give you an idea of the nature of the winds out here and of the conditions, how quickly they change, it is very, very, very fluid, very, very quickly changing.
Joab, you've certainly covered plenty of wildfires here at Fox 11. How does this one compare as you are now literally in the midst of this firefight?
Absolutely. Definitely, we've been through many very fires throughout previous years. I don't think I've ever been this close up to a fire before. I wasn't expecting to stumble upon this. Literally, from my first shot where I was having sheriffs telling, or deputies telling people to flee, to coming down another street and just seeing large flames like this, I could really say I've really not been this close to fires. I do feel comfort that right next to me I do have fire next to me here, but you know, not even myself, people who are worried about the properties, we're not immune to these types of changing conditions.
No, this
come
fire
out
is due
and think
to
that you could be
very
looking one
strong
way and the next
winds
moment, all of a sudden, the
and
structure could
lower
just burst into
humidity.
flames behind you. I can
These
say that
winds
bit of it
are
is just
pretty
a little
strong, and the gusts are about
bit,
50 to
I try to
60
find
to
words to
70
say it.
miles
It's
per
a little
hour.
bit frightening, I guess, in a way.
Sure.
These flames just have this nature has a will of its own. And when you're out here, you just realize how much at mercy you are to the conditions, to the winds, to the dry brush.
And also everything is
Really,
dry
it just
too,
makes you
so
realize how quickly things could change in a heartbeat.
Well, it's a reminder of the dangerous conditions for everybody involved trying to cover and fight this fire.
this fire is
Joab,
in
for
Orange
your own
County,
family who may be watching, could you show
California.
them the fire personnel that are working there
Laguna
so you can
Beach.
let your own family know that you are there, right there with firefighters as they are doing their job? And for them as well, it is safety first, and they have to come home to their families as well. So these firefighters are going to be in a situation where they know they can be safe enough to do this job and fight this fire and evacuate themselves if they need to. But seeing this fire truck, seeing those fire crews still working with their hoses gives me some comfort for your family that you're in a safe enough place at this moment in time, and you know safety first for yourself. But it's an example, Joab, that for crews there working on the ground, it is a dangerous job. But let's take a look here at this wide shot. Bring back Rick Dickert here.
At least you're getting rain.
So, Rick, we're hearing the fire's now 150
It's dry
acres,
here.
no containment.
Yeah, that's right. And containment is the line, the surrounding line around the fire to prevent it from spreading, preventing it from essentially getting more fuel, heat, and oxygen to grow. This is now an urban fire in which we have multiple homes that are burning. The wildland area on the lower left corner of your screen has already burned. You could see that fire break, that fire road there. That did not prevent that fire from spreading and burning these homes. And we look at this disaster, but this area has been prone to fires. And I'm reminiscent of a fire that burned just under 30 years ago, back in 1993, driven by Santa Ana winds. Unlike this one, once again, these are onshore cool ocean winds that are fanning this fire. The Santa Ana winds come from the northeast and blow towards the coast, and we see temperatures of 90 degrees or higher and low relative humidities. In October of 1993, this area burned, and we're talking about 350 plus homes, resulting in property loss of over $500 million. And this is going to be a situation in which we see, when we really look at the damage to these homes, a similar scenario in terms of the dollar loss. You could see the ground crews there trying to do whatever they can to salvage the homes that are burning and protect the homes adjacent to the ones that are burning from catching fire, from that ember intrusion. Those winds coming from the west to southwest, you can see still blowing strongly. I looked at a remote weather station nearby. It's the Aliso Laguna weather station. A west wind sustained at 15 miles an hour, gusting to 26. The winds are strongest this time of day. The intense desert heat rises, creating what we call a thermal low. Cooler air rushes in to replace it. That is our sea breeze coming off the coast. These winds were in the forecast. We talked about strong winds, deserts, mountains, and along the coast, out of the west and southwest. No wind advisories in effect for this area, no red flag warnings, but that doesn't mean that this disaster can happen, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Multiple multi-million-dollar homes burning here above Laguna Beach, being driven by those strong west to southwest winds.
And Rick, we're just hearing from the Orange County Sheriff's Department and the sergeant there saying that at least 6 homes have burned. Reports, of course, from the scene tallied as many as a dozen homes.
And I wish I would have.
Right now, of course, down there at the
I wish I was better prepared for this.
6 homes burned at this point.
I just thought about going
Joe
live at the
Perez
last
was
minute.
just bringing us his live reporting there from just below what were this live pictures.
But next
here.
time I will
There
be
are
better
several
prepared. I'll
streets that
let
are under
you
mandatory
and
evacuation, so
you know
basically
who
the whole
know
neighborhood below the Aliso
and
Summit
Dank
Trail.
and
Streets
Tag
like
know.
San Simeon, Sierra Vista, Alta Terra, Nucella. The list is long. This is from the Orange County Sheriff's Department saying if you live on this street, on these streets, you need to evacuate now. And people are being taken to the Laguna Niguel Community Center that's on Crown Valley Parkway. So Laguna Niguel Community Center is being set up as sort of an
people, but
evacuation
it's fine.
point
They're
for these
probably
neighbors
watching.
who live
They don't want
down
to
from these
comment. They don't
ridge-top
have to.
homes.
And this is a multi-agency situation, as we've mentioned.
Well, it
again.
says on
is
my
the Orange
thing,
County
it
Fire
says I have
Authority's
3
fire
people
burning
in
Orange
here,
County
so.
in Laguna, and the Laguna Beach Fire
And I
Department
think I
obviously,
know who those
engaging with
3
these homes.
people
And you
are.
can see, we talk about
I bet
6
you
homes,
do
12
too.
homes. There are multiple homes that are on fire right now. From that fire
Dragon.
that burned up the hillside there
It
on the
says
very
3.
bottom
I
of your
got 3
screen,
people,
in a
but
deep canyon there,
and I
being
bet you
driven
I
by
think I
those
know
winds.
who.
Fire races up the hill much quicker than it does downhill, and this is
Doesn't
the
want to
time of
comment,
afternoon
doesn't
when we
have
see
to.
those strongest onshore winds. The
If she's
embers
watching.
traveled onto
Doesn't
these
have to
homes, got
comment,
caught
but
up underneath the eaves. We call it ember intrusion, and this is a very teachable moment for you
because
folks
she
who
is
do
a
live
mod.
in these
Far
types
yeah,
of
she is a mod in
environments.
my
The
chat.
urban
Yeah,
wildland interface, where the bushes
but
meet the backyards, up against the Angeles
I'm just
National Forest,
guessing.
up against the Transverse Range, the San Bernardino Mountains, the San Gabriel Mountains, over towards National Forest.
Does
Have
one
a
in the
plan
chat?
for your
Doesn't
family.
have to.
Ready, set, go. Get that defensible space in play as we now are heading towards the peak of the fire season. Yes, fire season is year-round here in Southern California, but it's typically during the autumn period when we get those Santa Ana winds that we've seen the most destructive fires. And here we are in
Thanks
May.
for the
A May
3
gray
people
type of
that are in
pattern,
here.
that
Please
has encompassed
subscribe,
Southern
like,
California for several weeks. And the cool onshore
and
winds,
yeah,
that's what's driving these flames. It's
like if
not
I
the
yeah.
offshore winds. It's not the Santa Ana winds coming from the land towards the sea. It's the onshore winds. Ready, set, go. Remember the 5 Ps. People first and foremost. Have a plan for your family. Get out of harm's way
Please
as
hit
quickly
that
as you
like
can. Your
button
prescriptions,
and
your important papers, your
subscribe.
personal
That'll
needs such
help
as
me
clothes,
out
food,
a whole
water,
lot.
and of course the priceless items that you have in your home. Make sure that you have them in an area, because this fire exploded, Marla and Christine. We saw it. We watched it live here. It happened so rapidly, and you're just not going to have that time.
If it is her, she'll probably message me or you.
There on the scene of this fire. Our own photographer, Joab Perez, is on the ground there as we watch 2 homes burning where he is. Joab, are these residents we're seeing here?
I believe so, and you could just see people are just devastated. I mean, I saw this lady just ran down. She just has panic in her face, as you can see. Give you an idea. This
I'm
is
just
somebody's
trying
home.
to.
It's their life, you know, it's where they go home at the end of the day to rest. It's where family is, and you could just see the distress on their face. Perhaps as their property's being, I don't know which property they have, but there's several here that are up in flames, but you could just see the look of just concern on the faces of people here. Look at this home here. It is just completely caught fire here. I'm going to make my way
Yeah,
up to
there's
it.
4.
It's just scenes like this that are tell you that this is just still very, very much ongoing. The winds have not slowed down here. Look at the strength of this fire here. You could just, I don't know if you could translates well on camera, but these flames are moving very fast.
Yeah,
very quickly.
Those flames are ferocious. You can, the palm trees say it all as well. It looks like a scene from a hurricane almost, Joab. And just so that we are clear, you haven't moved since we last spoke to you. You are currently near or on LaView and Clubhouse Drive in this Laguna Niguel area, correct?
I did move up one street from there.
At least the rain will help to get everything wet, but
I did know it was a little bit of a gated area. It looks like I'm in the area now of Coronado Point.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I believe I'm somewhere in that vicinity up the street of Coronado Court. Just look at the, I'm going to move a little closer here.
So to
These
give
are some
people,
really heavy.
yeah, to give people perspective, we were watching the backside of Aliso Summit Trail. Coronado Point is the main street on the front side of those homes. And Joab had been on one street over from that, LaView, before. We are watching a home here on fire. Marla, when you said we had heard 6 homes, maybe a dozen homes, that number has grown in just about 2-3 hours.
Right. This fire broke out 3 hours ago, just over 3 hours ago. And first reports, Christine, were no homes were threatened.
Exactly,
no one's in danger.
yes.
It's a small little brush fire. And then how quickly conditions changed. And once the wind just took those flames, this is the end result. And for a while there, it still was, we thought we were watching this with cautious optimism that the homes would be saved. But about the top of the hour, the 5 o'clock hour, that's when these flames really took hold of this neighborhood. This is in the Aliso Canyon area, Aliso Woods Canyon. It is being called the Coastal Fire. Laguna Niguel
hope those
neighborhood
people
as
are
well.
okay.
These are all communities that are now impacted by the coastal fire. We say, we're putting there up on the screen that a reminder, it's grown to 150 acres. New numbers.
183 acres now. And add to that with those homes that we're watching. Rick Dicker, let me just talk to you. You and I went on the air about 3:45, and we saw flames coming up to a home. So give me some progress here on the weather, or what are we expecting, do you think, tonight? Does this get better tonight?
The winds will back off this evening. The Santa Ana winds that we typically see in Southern California driving these winds, they're not in play. These are onshore winds. But as of right now, there are no wind advisories in effect for this area. There are no red flag warnings, meaning rapid fire growth potential. But again, this is a teachable moment that shows that regardless of those conditions, we can still see fire disasters like this here in Southern California, in Laguna Beach. That fire raced up the hillside there. Overnight, the winds typically back off. The sea breeze abates a bit as that thermal low over the desert areas subsides a bit. What drives these winds, these onshore winds coming from the ocean towards the land, blowing out of the west and southwest, is the intense heat that develops during the afternoon hours over Indio, over Palm Springs, over Rancho Mirage. We call it a thermal low because it's a heat low. That hot air rises, and our atmosphere always wants to be in balance. So to essentially replace that rising air, you get specific air blowing inland, and that's what we're seeing now. That's why the palm trees are still blowing. We're still seeing wind gusts to between 20 and 30 miles an hour in this area. I would say another hour or two, they'll start to back off, and then
because I'm always going to other people's nights, I figured I'd do one my own.
We're going to see much lighter winds. But the bottom line is now, this is a house-by-house fire firefight. It is not an urban, it is not a wildland fire, I should say, but this is that classic urban wildland interface that is
Took me a
so
while to
vulnerable.
figure it
You
out,
can
but
see this sprawling home here in the hills above Laguna Beach that's burning. Multiple homes engaged.
Let's maybe take that shot on the left for just a second so we can see how much more damage has happened to that home.
thank you, Roscon.
Watching that home there on fire. Marla, look at how much the fire has spread across.
Well, that's just such a massive home, and our extreme nav technology gives you a more precise
I'm
idea
just
of
testing
where
it
this
out,
is.
making
Aliso
sure my
Summit
sound's
Trail,
okay.
That is the trail that leads directly
If you
to
guys,
those
if you
massive
can hear me
homes.
real
And we're
good,
back now
let me
on the
know.
ground here from the
I'm just
perspective
making sure
of
my sound's
our
okay.
videographer Joab Perez,
That you guys,
who
that you guys can
says
see
that
the screen okay. That that my
Joab, you're
settings
being
are
told
the
to
way I
move,
want
right?
them.
It's just too dangerous.
Yes, there was a vehicle
And
here. You hear the horn. This vehicle is just completely engulfed in flames. It was just completely engulfed. This firefighter here just knocked the flame down on the vehicle. But there you go. You can hear this car's horn just going off, perhaps from the
okay,
flames
thanks,
it's taken
Roscon.
in.
I'm just making,
And
I'm
look
just doing a
behind me,
test.
one home.
And
We have
I
another home
saw
just
this
like two
fire, so I
homes.
figured just
Three.
restream
You have
it.
four
So
homes. You just have home after home in this neighborhood, this little street I'm on here, all being just caught up in this little bit of a lot of wind and embers, and you can tell a lot of homes in this neighborhood have been hit. And look at this, there you got 1, 2.
Oh my goodness.
but I don't know how to make it full screen though.
4. I mean, I can just
That's
make
what
out
I
5.
try to.
Perhaps a little bit further down, I haven't seen there, but at least 5 I see
So
just
you,
from my
so
vantage point here.
you girls can see it better
Joab, keep your shot up
without
for
all
us
the
as long
videos
as you
showing
can.
up.
Stay safe there with those firefighters. We want to welcome our viewers to the Fox 11 News here at 6 o'clock. I'm Christine Devine here with Marla Tejas. Alex Michelson has been on assignment all day covering other stuff for us. Right now we have Rick Dicker with us with the update. And our
I'll
photographer,
figure
Joab
it out.
Perez, with that shot for you on the ground. They're in Laguna Niguel on the main street where we have seen these fires burning. Coronado Point there. Joab seeing 4 fighters with his own eyes, so 4 fires with his own hot eyes there, of these homes that have
Thick
burned
black smoke.
in a matter of minutes. Joab, talk about the changing nature of the fire from the street that you are on.
Well, I just want to say I was, in a sense, relieved to Rick say that this is not something that's going to have, that the high winds have really added
Oh, it
to.
says
But you
it's
can tell
drag
that
to
at least for
move.
this area,
And there's
the conditions
there's me
are
down
very,
there.
very quickly
So
changing, and there was a lot of winds. I think, as Rick has said, these
no
kind of
right
conditions equate to
video
their own kind
is
of weather
a
patterns
thing
in
you
this little area.
click for
So
full screen.
particularly here, I don't know if you can see these palms.
No right. You
It's
mean
just
where
very,
you
very
mean where it
changing.
shows
Winds,
my
you have
icon?
wind come one way, another, it'll whip right in your face the next. And that's what I believe is causing a lot of these homes in this area. Look at that. I'm just going to do a little bit of a 360 here. 1, 2, 3. And then right behind me, you have 4, 5. So you can see where these winds, and they're shifting. They're just carrying embers from one roof to the next and causing
I'm not good at
literally almost 360 view.
trying
I
to
got
figure
homes
this all out
around me
because
that have been
I'm still
caught on
new
fire. You
at
can hear
this.
popping. I don't know if that's from windows, perhaps there was a car on fire. Let me show you that car. It's still caught back on fire there. I don't know if you can see that there. So there's just a lot of different oh my gosh,
Well,
I'm just
I
getting
am
sprayed
on
in
the
the eyes here. I don't know if you
Restream
can see
side
that.
right now,
You have a
so
lot of this, I don't know if it's foam
I
or
can't
it's what the firefighters
I
are
can't
using.
go on the YouTube side.
But it's just spreading all over the place here. The fire are definitely doing everything they can to try to bring these flames down. But it's just very, very fluid, as I'm saying. Just with the amount of wind that's shifting. There you go. Now this home,
Yeah.
they look like they had it a little bit down, and then the next
I'll
second it just
figure
goes
it
back
out.
up. So
I'll have Dane or somebody help
this
me.
neighborhood particularly, things are still very, very rapidly changing.
And as we always hear and we learn from meteorologists,
Thanks for trying to help me, Ruston. You rock.
And Joab, that's exactly what you're
I'm
experiencing.
gonna have to do this on my phone because my chat for Restream is actually really slow for some reason.
Just to give
Hang on,
our
I'm
viewers
gonna
some
try to make
perspective, and
you
this
a
is one of the
mod.
most hard-hit
Add a moderator.
areas
There you
thus
go.
far, in addition to the homes that are burning on the ridgetop, of course.
So
at
only
least
kick
a dozen
those.
homes have caught
Those
fire.
are the sucking shit.
Rick,
Just
is
kick
that your
them
assessment
or
as
delete them or hit them or
This
whatever.
overhead view here, and you're exactly right there, Marla. And this, again, this is a house-by-house fire fight right now. And what firefighters are trying to do, they employ that surround and drown technique.
Like if they come in and start talking crap or they're harassing me or my friend Dragon, then just kick them.
But then, more importantly, what they want to do, first by making sure that everybody's out of harm's way. Protection of life is number one. Then the protection of property is to try to save the homes adjacent to, because you can see those two homes, lower right side of your screen there, that don't look like they've been engaged. That house is just
I've been dealing with drama of my own, so
it's just
I've
amazing
had
to
people
watch this,
attack
the
me
destruction, the
and
devastation of what fire can do
just
here to this
and people have been attacking Dragons, so
Coronado Point neighborhood off
people
of
just
Crown
won't
Valley
leave me alone.
Parkway here, and you could see that the palm trees, the eucalyptus trees, which are not
Trying to
indigenous
accuse me of
Southern
things
California,
that I
when say
didn't do.
they don't just grow naturally. They were planted there by landscapers there, but they create their own fire danger, especially
What happens on these YouTube streets, right?
Those are like literally matchsticks there that are positioned, and that's what allows these fires to spread.
And you're looking at the homes burning on top. We have on the air right now the firefighters.
Oh yeah, I'm just I got tired of it.
Joab Perez is bringing us these live pictures. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, we have crews in the greater area of Orange County to bring us information. Producer Michelle Humphrey, what do you have for us?
I am now south in
Dragon, you still here?
street from the Aliso Canyon sort of park area, and let me tell you, I've now seen Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach fire.
It's been horrible for me, let me tell you.
Agencies that I saw, but at the same time, there's two
That's so bad when I had to leave YouTube for a few days.
I'm making my way down south, and the wind has just really picked up down here as well.
Oh, okay, hon.
Michelle, since we last spoke to you, what has the conditions, what has it been like out there? Because you know how we are. We're in the studio and we have Skyfox up and over, and then we're in a neighborhood that is just getting obliterated by these flames right now. But for people who are out there on the streets driving, what is it like?
I mean, honestly, Marla, the thing that's the most strange is there's kids playing in the park here as
Oh yeah, I
on
seen
right
you
next
and
to
other
the beach.
cats.
It is so eerie and strange that if you look to the left, the sky is black, and if you look to the right, you have a beautiful ocean view. It is almost eerie that it's as if nothing is happening to the left of us.
Yeah, I mean, you look at our footage here with our photographer there on the ground. Looks like it's night. Michelle, you know, we've covered a lot of fires in SoCal. We kind of have these news days where we say, okay, it's a high fire danger day, whether it's the heat or the Santa Ana winds. When you woke up this morning, were you thinking fire concern today?
I mean, not at all. And honestly, again, we had that shoot set at Pelican Hill today, and it wasn't even much of a concern until, I would say, around noon. All of a sudden, it became really windy.
And are you currently right now, Michelle, are you out of your vehicle? It sounds like you're out there literally in the elements.
Yeah, I tried to get you guys a live picture from around my phone. I saw the photos. I mean, I saw the helicopters and planes dropping water, so I wanted to at least try to get you guys some shots. But regardless, I'm still making my way towards where Joab is, and I wanted to give you guys some perspective.
Wow. Yeah, and Joab is our photographer who's there.
Very windy.
Yeah, giving us that shot right there.
Well, and we know the air quality is extremely poor, so certainly as you make your way, you know that we're going to tell you to be safe and don't put yourself in any danger. We appreciate you, Michelle, though, for bringing your perspective.
Thank you, and I have my Mac, as always.
Very good, very good. I can imagine what it's like to breathe in all that smoke there.
I'm getting some word from some of our viewers here that are sharing on social media, and some of these homes, one of which that we've watched burn, is close to a $10 million home, and these are multi-million-dollar homes that are burning.
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm just watching the stream and
Beach, and once
making
again,
sure everything else is okay on this end.
house by house fire fight. It's not that traditional wildland fire that we see here in Southern California. It burned up against that urban wildland interface. The fire breaks, the trails, the defensible space didn't work. And I'll tell you what, and I'm looking at the current wind speeds, and as I talk about the wind speeds, and this is the time of day, I keep saying that the winds, those onshore winds are strongest. We still don't have wind advisories in effect for this part of Orange County.
Seems like everything's working like it's supposed to, so.
Potential. But to give you an idea, up the coast from here, again, this is down in Orange County, LAX is experiencing a west wind sustained at 30 miles an hour, gusting
you're not close to this fire, are you?
Area of Laguna Niguel are gusting over 30 miles an hour.
You don't have to say it because I don't want you to dock yourself.
From above, and you can see the resources. They're just trying to surround and drown individual homes there and protect the homes adjacent to, so that they save those properties. And this is going to be a firefight that is going to last for hours. These individual homes burn a long time, and as much water is being poured on these houses here, it is going to take firefighters quite some time to get control of each individual house fire that is burning. Think about when we cover a structure fire, one single house fire, how long it takes. These are multiple homes now in this exclusive neighborhood above Laguna Beach that are burning here, and they're trying to do whatever they can to prevent those flames from spreading to adjacent homes that have not been engaged yet.
Rick, I want to ask you, we are getting this information from Orange County Fire Authority, the lead agency, of course, saying that it has over 60 different types of resources battling the flames. Can you put that into layman's terms for us in terms of 60 different types of resources?
And that's multi-agency. We're talking about Orange County Fire Authority. We're talking about the Laguna Beach Fire Department. We're talking about the agencies from outside of Orange County that have descended on this neighborhood here. Air resources, the fixed wings, the tankers that drop the Phos-Check. You saw that reddish haze there on the ground there that prevents the fire from spreading, that fire retardant. We have the water dropping helicopters, the Erickson aircranes that have 2,650 gallons of water capacity dropping on these areas. So when you talk about the trucks, the resources on the ground and in the air, yes, we're talking about dozens and dozens of agencies and of those resources that are trying to combat this major fire emergency here in Southern California.
Rick, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked our morning show producer, Michelle Palfrey. When you woke up this morning, were you thinking this is a high fire danger day? We'll come in early, be ready.
Every day is.
Every day? No, some days more so than others.
No, you're right. We didn't have the red flag warnings in effect. We talked about the potential of some strong onshore winds, the deserts, the mountains. There's a shot of Skyfox. We've been up over this for hours now. We got to go get some fuel here in the belly of that helicopter so we can continue to provide you with the coverage from above. Did we see something like this happening? Not necessarily, but again, whenever we have wind in play, wind is king, and we did know that we were going to see some wind gusts at the coast of 30 miles an hour. This is an earlier shot of those two men just up on the trail there above those homes, watching casually, nonchalantly. They're taking pictures before the fire really invaded that neighborhood and caught multiple homes on fire.
You know what that shot reminds me of, Rick and Marla? How we were talking earlier, thinking that home had survived.
Yeah,
remember?
we did.
The flames are coming up to that one home on the corner there, and then smoke overtook it. We couldn't see if the home was on fire or not. Then we had a shot that kind of opened up, it parted ways with the smoke there. You saw a home.
All right, hon.
And Rick, do we think that's one of the ones that burned?
I think it's going pretty well tonight, I think.
Case. And again, I said cautiously optimistic that it appeared that the fight was going to end right at that fire line, right at that trail, that fire break, where they essentially create that defensible space. But right there, you just saw that is a firestorm, and that is a clear indication there. Look at that palm tree blowing there, that is not just wind velocity. velocity created by meteorological conditions, by differences in atmospheric pressure. That's what drives the winds. High pressure to low pressure, air blows from high to low. That is because of the intense heat that is created by that fire right in the zone there, and that hot air rising, creating even a stronger difference in pressure and creating even stronger winds, because as that hot air rises there over that fire zone, cooler air from surrounding areas rushes in to replace it, creating higher wind velocities than would be if there was no fire at all.
I just want to point out that this is video from a couple of hours ago, at least an hour ago, that we're looking at right now, because Skyfox, our live picture, is going to refuel because it's been up for so long. So these are images here that we recorded in the last couple of hours since we've been on the air. Christine jumped on the air with Rick about 3:45. That was an hour into
I wonder how many views I'm getting, because I can't see on this side.
Be on for 10 or 15 minutes.
You may say I just have to do a quick little update here.
And it just blew up.
Yeah.
Just see, this is just devastating. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is the Coronado Point area of Laguna Beach in South Orange County, so it's inland slightly from Laguna Beach proper, the coastal areas. Up in the hills there, those hillsides that are covered with the brushes, the chaparral,
yeah, I see it.
the yucca plants
That's
that
what
are
it's
part
telling
of
me
our Southern
too.
California landscape, not the palm trees, not those
I like how
trees and
Restream
eucalyptus trees that
has
are
that
planted by
up there,
landscapers,
lets me
but
know
the
how many
brush
people are in
there
the room.
is what is natural or indigenous to Southern California, and that fire roared up the canyon. Fire spreads much quicker uphill than it does downhill. We watched it explode, and then right up against these homes into this neighborhood. Again, Coronado Point, which is along Pacific Island Drive, along Crown Valley Parkway, these exclusive multi-million-dollar homes. I saw one picture that was shared on social media, one of the homes on the market right now for $10 million.
You know, I'm just reminded of how quickly a fire can spread. You might think, you know, oh, I'm a street over or a street back or several houses down. But to have those items ready to evacuate, I've known several people who've lost in fires, and it can be just a knock on the door from a sheriff deputy or a firefighter saying, you got to go now. And do you have that box ready with your prescriptions, valuable information, even the family photos that are irreplaceable, those items that you can throw into a box or kind of have at the ready when you live in a canyon area like this?
Hey, that's right. And I just want clarification. Do we have, because we have 2 helicopters. Our fleet is 2 helicopters now. Is this a live picture? Okay, this is a live picture, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this is a live picture again, an aerial picture of this one home. You can see firefighters. I talk about the surround and drown. They just put resources around the periphery of these homes that are burning, try to cool them down, try to salvage as much as they can from the home. But people, multiple families, we're talking likely a dozen or more homes here, they've lost almost everything. It's awful to see this, and this is something that we've seen time and time again in Southern California. People talk about climate change and what have you, and sure, we are seeing an uptick in incidents like this. We are seeing an uptick in longer dry seasons. We are seeing an uptick in less precipitation. We are seeing an uptick in fires that burn stronger and longer because of these conditions that
especially
are in
when
play.
the
And this is an
predictions
area
are
of Orange
right.
County. We love our Southern California communities. We love those urban wildland interface areas because of the views. We love the beach because we can see the ocean. But all of those areas are vulnerable to natural disasters like this, and that's what we're seeing here. And this is not a San Ana wind event. It's very
I'm going to
important
need
that
to
you
stream
folks at
up
home
so
know
other
this
people
is
can
not
see
because
it.
of winds blowing from the land towards the sea. 30, 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts with 90-degree temperatures and single-digit relative humidities. This is a cool onshore wind. It doesn't matter. Wind is king. Wind allows a fire to spread rapidly. It doesn't
I can't
matter if
make it
comes
into
from the
a
sea or
video
from the land.
because this is from a TV station.
Perez below the Summit Ridge there in this neighborhood that has really been decimated.
And they would
flames.
possibly,
Joab,
they would
where
probably
are you precisely now,
strike
and
me
what
if
are
I
the
did
conditions
that.
like?
Yes, I'm still in the same position from our last live shot, and definitely still getting a lot of winds. As I was walking up, it wasn't as bad, and then in a second, we just got another strong gust coming in. So definitely in these neighborhoods where the fire is still ongoing, there's still a lot of wind, still a lot of changing winds as
Ooh.
well. So you still have, let me count here, you got
I remember no time ago where I
you
used
got
to
about
know we
3
had
trucks
fires
just in this
mostly
area.
every
Every now and
day.
then you'll see another,
I couldn't go
you'll get,
outside
you can see
because
Costa
all it
Mesa
smelled
here,
like
you
was
have
this.
just different Newport
All,
Beach. You just have,
all
as
you
you
could
mentioned
smell was
earlier, it's a
smoke.
multi-agency effort here. And every now and then you'll see another truck come down, perhaps.
Yeah,
You'll see definitely just
because all you could
and
smell was
more
smoke.
of a presence from fire in this area. I don't know if you can hear these pops as well. As I'm walking, I'll hear just a loud pop.
Yeah, those are
From
multiple explosions.
something igniting. Or sometimes you could also hear, earlier there was a car on fire and you had the horn going. The sounds are really haunting.
Yes.
And it's just very, 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 as I mentioned, I think I mentioned in a previous live shot, it's just being out here in these conditions, you're just really, really at the mercy of the winds.
Whoa, holy crap.
Did you catch that?
Yes.
Things
The
like
gas
that.
lines, everything that just with an individual house fire, that's what happens, and that's what Joab is hearing and witnessing and reporting so well at.
People shouldn't be
Wow,
that
yes,
close
Rick.
to that house.
And again, you just catch just little things like that are happening. You have like a car go off on fire, the horn go off.
Ooh.
There's another loud bang. So it's just very, very
It
kind of
looks
surreal.
like
So chaotic, so
it
chaotic.
looks
There.
like
Please be
almost like
safe
a
out there.
war zone.
Joab. Yeah. Please be safe out there. You can see the air quality.
As you mentioned, it looks like something
A
did.
war
As you
zone.
mentioned.
Yeah, it was what it looks like the fighter jets are going over it and just dropping bombs.
And there's still several loud bangs coming from there.
What it
So as you
looks like
mentioned,
to
Rick, there's
me.
a lot of lines out here, a lot of things that
Yeah,
could go
so
up
do
in
I.
a
The
very, very
smell is
quickly.
really bad.
And I just hope that everybody got out safely. And I know that evacuation orders were put into play, but in a very quick
Okay,
way.
good, because
And
I'm
people
using old
want to stay
headphones,
close to their
so I'm
homes.
making
They
sure
want to
my
stay close
sound's
to
going
what they've
through.
built upon for years and all of their belongings. And it's so hard to pull away from that. And we're just hopeful that everybody got out of there safely, because this truly does look like a war zone in terms of this neighborhood.
Joab, I'm curious because you just mentioned that you made your way up the street. What are you seeing in terms of damage? Are you seeing home after home caught on fire?
Absolutely. In this neighborhood, absolutely. On the way up here, I could see why deputies were urging people to flee as fast as they can. This is the type of situation where they do not want people to be stuck in. They do not want people
Yeah,
to be
that looks like the
in
Pine
an area
Chief
like
in that
this. Because as
red
Rick said, it
SUV.
feels a bit, I've never been to a war zone, but
Yeah,
just on the way up
that
here,
red
exactly what I
SUV,
was
that's the
feeling. You had
Battalion
this
Chief.
large plume of smoke on the drive over here. As you slowly started making your way up, you could see the nerves on people down on the way up here. Perhaps residents trying to come to see their kind of rush to their properties, perhaps to see if the property is okay. You could see the nerves on their face. The closer you got up here,
There's nowhere for anyone to go.
you could hear another loud pop there. The more and more things just
Because you
begin to
got
get more and more
fires
intense.
around you.
You had from just down the street here, you had a little bit of a hill on fire. Up one street, one house on fire. From the next street here, several homes on fire. I counted at least last shot around 4 homes just completely engulfed. And now you have loud bangs coming. As Rick mentioned, you have perhaps gas lines in some of these homes.
And that's a brand new fire engine too. Brand new.
This area, once it gets in a home, you just have all this structure that's just fuel for this fire, and then you got this little weather event that this fire.
Fires are gonna run. Well, actually they won't run out of water because these newer engines, because they carry about what 1,500 gallons of water, so they'll bring tankers, and they'll have a helicopter that has a thing on the side where they can go over the fire,
Orange County fire officials, they are planning to
open
hold
it
a
up,
news
and
conference
dump water.
to give us an update on the current condition of the
Nice
coastal
to see
fire
an
at
airplane with that. You
7:30
see them
this
fly
evening.
over and with
So,
that red
we're
stuff.
just over an hour away until we get our
That's
first official
fire.
news update from Orange County Fire.
What's the name
we
of
should
it?
note to our viewers that we're going to stay on the air.
Fire.
At 6:30.
Retardant or something like that.
And you're seeing live pictures there, and you saw that engine truck there, Costa Mesa. That's what we're talking about with the multi-agency units that are on scene there. All over Orange County and parts of LA County, units are heading to this area here
Costa
to battle this
Mesa.
fire. You can see that American flag on top of that engine truck from Costa Mesa there, flapping in the wind, the strong onshore winds. If you're just tuning in, these are multiple homes that are burning as a result of a wildland fire that started earlier this afternoon. Not driven by Santa Ana winds, but by onshore winds coming off of the ocean. And we're talking about wind gusts up the coast of LAX, gusting to 41 miles per hour at this time. We don't have red flag warnings in effect, meaning rapid fire growth potential, but we still saw it with this incident here. And if you are just seeing these pictures here, this is above
I feel bad for the firefighters.
South Orange County, Laguna Beach.
They're going to be
down
tired
towards
after
Three Arc
this.
Bay. Just inland from there, you have a lot of wildland area, the Aliso Canyon area there, and it's Aliso Viejo, the Coronado Point area. These are the areas that the homes are burning in off of Crown Valley Parkway here. Exclusive homes, multi-million-dollar homes. The upper left corner of your screen there, you see that red film. That was the firefight earlier.
And that's the deck gun that they're using on top of the engine. That's called a deck gun.
0%. We want 100% containment, meaning there's a line 100% around the fire. And what firefighters try to do, they try to starve the fire of the fuel, the chaparral, the brush, and anything else that allows that fire to spread. The fuel, heat, and oxygen. And they're doing it on the ground and in the air here. But now this is a house by a house
Look at that.
firefight.
You can't even see in front of you.
Neighborhood have been engaged by the fire, by those embers being driven by the winds, getting caught underneath the eaves, the ember intrusion that we talk about. And all they're trying to do is salvage as much of the property that they can or wet down the homes that have not been engaged by the fire.
I'm wondering if we could maybe take the small box full to show the perspective of the fires on two different streets there. Our photographer Joab is on the ground there on one of them. But look at how the fire has spread there from home to home. And we think too, after
You too,
fire,
Roxanne.
what's
Thanks for
left
everything.
standing, and the people whose homes did not burn. And there's that guilt sometimes people feel about why did my home survive. You're looking there, the fire's still burning near that Phos-Chek drop there. A lot of fuel there in that canyon area. And these homes, they pick such a beautiful area to overlook the ocean and to enjoy Southern California at its finest, and to have this be part of their storyline day in, day out, the threat of fires.
No rain in the forecast. The winds continue, but they will be backing off this evening. These are strong sea breezes. These are winds coming off of the ocean. No wind advisories in effect for Aliso Viejo or Coronado Point, Laguna Beach. No red flag warnings, but the winds, regardless, are still gusting in excess of 30 miles an hour. And then again, you have that intense heat right in the fire zone, and that hot air rises, just like it does over your stove, and air from surrounding areas rushes in to replace it, and that creates higher wind velocities than there would be if there was no fire.
And Rick, I just want to remind people quickly here that evacuees, they are being directed to the Laguna Niguel Community Center. That is an official evacuation center set up. Also getting word that the estimated acreage is now at 200 acres burned. At least a dozen homes. This is from Orange County Fire Authority, the lead agency. The good news, if there is any in this, so far, no immediate reports of injuries. And, you know, loss of life is what we care most about. It is so heartbreaking to think that people have lost their homes on this Wednesday afternoon.
Well, that's good that no one's lost their lives.
But thank goodness thus far there have not been
That means
any
that they're
reports of injuries.
listening.
Look at that. Wow.
I cannot believe that this has just happened. That just 4 hours ago, this wasn't in existence.
Vehicles, homes. Again, to make the analogy of a war zone, individual homes that are burning here, Marla and Christine. Palm trees adjacent to the homes. They are in a battle
another house is caught on fire.
homes as possible. And this is what these firefighters do. And when they're not fighting fires, when there's calm conditions out there, they go and research these neighborhoods. They have mapping systems. They know what they're dealing with in case this area were to light up like it does today. They know the fire-prone areas. They know that
Nope.
canyon right
It's
below
gonna be a
Coronado
while
Point
for them
and how
until they
vulnerable
put it out.
is and what they'll do. And you can see right there, that's clearly there's gas lines that have gone up that are burning there. You hear the pops. Joab doing such a great job. Michelle Palfrey on the ground, our photographers, our producers there covering this from the air and on the ground. We have you covered there. We have our helicopter up there with our Extreme Nav system showing you the exact areas where this fire is burning. And this will last into the evening hours. Even though the winds will start to abate, the sea breezes will back off. They're going to be battling these individual house fires for hours.
I'm just so amazed as we've been talking. At 2:44, we get word of this fire in Laguna Niguel, in the canyon, in the brush. And to have this be the development today is so heartbreaking. And you think of the people whose lives have been so altered by this today, who don't have a home to go to. That all of their memories, their photo albums, their family heirlooms gone in just a matter of moments. I mean, think how they started their day today and how it ends tonight.
And you asked earlier, Christine, did we expect this? And did we wake up this morning thinking, hey, this is going to be a major fire emergency day? No, but every day is fire day. Every day is fire season in Southern California. We've seen destructive fires year-round, in the middle of winter,
But
during the spring.
Some days are high fire danger
Where
days.
we have red flag warnings across the board. We have high wind warnings in effect, and that wasn't the case. We knew that there was going to be wind advisories. We knew that there were going to be strong winds at the coast, like here in Laguna Beach in South Orange County. We knew that we would see gusts in excess of 30 miles an hour, not only at the shore, but up in the deserts and the mountains. But did I foresee something like this happening? No, we didn't. But all it takes is that trigger. And we don't know what started this fire yet. That's going to be determined in time, where that fire started. But the wind in play allowed it to spread rapidly. Wind is king, and that's what we're seeing now.
All right, we want to go to one of our other esteemed videographers on the ground, Sam Dubin. He joins us now live. Sam, where are you? We don't have a look at your picture just yet, or maybe we do. Okay, we do this. So this is a ground picture. Where are you? And I understand you have some kids with you.
Hey, Marla. Yeah, I'm at Anamonte and Clubhouse here in Laguna Niguel, and the firefighters are doing an amazing job. I don't know if you can see up here. They just protected all these homes right here from these flames. It looks like some good brush clearance definitely played a factor as well, but the winds are so strong right now. It's hard to hold the camera straight. I have two people in the area here.
Yeah, staying under the sleepy.
I'm telling you, you guys are just trying to get suits.
Yeah, for prom. It's really smoky, really hot out here. It's devastating to see.
And you guys live here. I mean, what's it like seeing all this? Did you expect a fire like this today?
I did not. With the conditions, I could see how it could have happened, but it's really unfortunate to see this, and I hope we can just rebuild and recover.
It was very windy today. I mean, talk about that. I mean, do you think, it had a potential for a fire?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, it's crazy.
Even though I said this is my first stream, I would say this is my... I wouldn't say this is my first stream. I was just... So, I would say this was just a test. So, I would say this was just a test, and looks like everything's working. You and Kong can hear me. The screen is good. The stream is good. Hello, the settings. So I'm just gonna leave everything alone. I'm not gonna change anything.
I mean, when I drove by here maybe 5 minutes ago, the skies were almost clear, just some white smoke, and it's just gone from 0 to 60 in an instant.
So whenever you get tired of watching this, kill the screen. I'll end the stream.
Burned here at least, but it looks like there was some good brush clearance up here that definitely saved some houses.
Sam, I appreciate some progress, some kind of update that makes us feel just a little bit better about what we're seeing tonight. It's just so heartbreaking. And look at the work of those firefighters there. We appreciate so much the work that they're doing today. Sam, describe for me the conditions you're feeling, you're seeing, the temperature, the smoke in the air, like to be there on the ground.
Oh, let me tell you, even with a mask on, it's incredibly windy, incredibly smoky. I mean, you can't even see, you can barely see these palm trees up here, and they're not that far away, maybe just a few hundred feet away, and there you go. They're completely just covered in smoke, but all right here, it's all white smoke as they're putting
Yeah, I'm starting to fall asleep, so you want me to kill it?
But just down the road here, you can see more fire engines, more fire apparatus coming up. They have just a line of fire engines ready to go. That's Anaheim Fire right there, Orange County Fire Authority right here, Orange City Fire, excuse me. But they have, I'd say at least a dozen trucks just lined up, and they're probably going to hit some more hot spots right now.
Sam, I asked this of Joab Perez, of course.
Alrighty.
Your colleague, our colleague. Also
Alright, everyone. Thanks for coming. Those that came, please subscribe, like, and comment. I don't know when I'm going to do my next stream. This was a test, I guess. Looks like everything's working like it's supposed to. I'm going to need the stream up, but I am going to end it. Thanks for coming. Y'all have a good night.
Palm leaves, just flying off the trees there. So we knew there was the potential for some sort of